Q-tip I'll hold at the end so nothing can get on or off the Q-tip. That is unless of course you use two ordinary objects, a Q-tip and a rubber band. I'll turn the rubber band into a lethal rubber band gun, and the Q-tip I'll hold at the end so nothing can get on or off the Q-tip. That is unless of course you use magic. Just like that, that rubber band visually links onto the Q-tip, and the only way to get it off is to remove it from between the two fingers. We'll do it one more time. This time it'll be pinched between the fingers once more, but it's going to happen slightly more slowly. Watch the rubber band as it melts. 3, 2, 1, all the way through the Q-tip itself. The last time will happen in ultra slow motion. I'll wrap the band around my fingers like this, and the Q-tip will be held over here in my right hand, okay? Don't look away, as you'll see everything happen in slow motion, strand by strand. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And then back, 3, 2. Just like that, everything can be handed out. To do this, you'll need a Q-tip, a rubber band, and a secret item. Another rubber band. I'll teach it to you in two parts. The first part is to make the first band vanish. My friend Rory Adams taught me how to do this, and I'll link to his blog down below. But in reality, I'm going to make a rubber band gun, and that rubber band gun apparently fires the band away, but it secretly ends up hidden in my palm. To teach it to you quickly, wrap it around your middle and ring finger of the right hand. Use your left hand to keep hold of a piece of the band. Wrap it around the fingers once, just like this, and then bring those fingers into the palm so they're touching. Now with this piece of band that you still have a hold of, point your right index finger and right thumb out, like this, like a gun, and wrap the band around the back of the thumb and hook it onto the index finger. Whenever you want to apparently make it vanish, you curl this index finger in, and it'll fire backwards and wrap around the fingers in your palm. As long as you don't show the inside of your hand to anyone, it'll look like it just shoots off somewhere into the distance. The next part is to make this band appear, or at least look like it links onto the Q-tip. To do that, you need to set it up before you perform. It takes 2 seconds, if that. Simply hook the rubber band over your left thumb and stretch it backwards until you can feel it doesn't want to go any further, and then wedge it underneath the forearm. Okay, so your left hand forearm is wedging it. So essentially, if I block this, it can fire off. Now, because it's here, if I squeeze my thumb in, it'll hide the rubber band. If I bring my fingers in casually and it looks natural, it'll hide it from the front. And as long as you tilt your hand back slightly, they won't be able to see it directly either. Have the Q-tip within reach because you're not going to be able to move your forearm whilst you're performing, and begin. Set up the rubber band gun in front of the audience. Remember, don't flash this palm because they'll see the band. Set up the rubber band gun and pick up the Q-tip at the ends. And I'll just tell you, once it's here, you don't want to open your palm towards them. You want to turn your hand towards the side. And I put it between my middle finger and thumb, so that allows my index finger to give me a little bit of cover over the top here. So the rubber band gun is set. I pick up the Q-tip At the same time, I'm going to release the rubber band gun with my right hand, and I'm going to lift up my forearm over here, and together it looks like this band fires over here, but secretly it's retained on the finger and it'll link onto the Q-tip. The secret is that it's basically firing and wrapping around this so fast you can't see it. Now, to clean up, I just hand this to somebody to hold on to, while I simply drop this off the end of the table or place it into my pocket. Nobody thinks you're using 2 rubber bands because they literally believe they see it link on. This is the Blackpool Lecture Pack. Contained within it is my Meridian lecture notes with exclusive tricks that I've never taught anywhere else before, special gaffs, gimmicks, props, and a couple of surprises contained within. The only way to get your hands on one is to win it in this contest. The only thing you need to do is hit that subscribe button. A winner will be picked from my subscribers, and I'll be announcing it in next week's tutorial. This will then be shipped to you completely for free anywhere you are in the world. Now let's dive straight back to the tutorial. To do the second version, you only need the rubber band and the Q-tip, and you're going to rely on angle slightly. It's going to look like you're pinching the Q-tip between your middle finger and thumb of your left hand, and it's going to look like the rubber band melts onto the Q-tip. But the reality is, the Q-tip is pinched between the index finger and middle finger of the left hand, which will allow me to pull my thumb backwards just like so, okay? Just enough to link the Q-tip on. But from the front, you can't see this. And when you're looking straight on, you can't tell depth. You cannot tell how far back, as long as it's only a small amount, how far back the rubber band is, okay? So you can't tell if it's here or here. The real secret to making this work is to bring these fingers up in line, or aim the line of this Q-tip directly towards the eye line of your spectators. That way, when you remove your thumb, they won't be able to see what's happening. Then, once you finish the link, you don't just want to quickly slam that thumb back on because they'll see something's happened. You want to do it as you turn the hand forward. That big action will cover the small action, and you very smoothly just touch back onto the Q-tip to display the link, just like this. The third version was inspired by the Linkin matchstick effect, which was updated by Akira Fuji with the Linkin cigarette effect, which I've updated to do a multi-phase rubber band version. You only need the Q-tip and the rubber band, and it's going to look like, from here, it's going to look like the Q-tip melts through every strand of the rubber band visually, like this. But the reality is that instead of it being pinched just between the index finger and thumb, it's going to be clipped between the middle finger and the index finger, just like so. And secretly, my thumb is not going to move away like in the second effect. It's actually going to come up and over the Q-tip, leaving a small gap, okay? You have people look over your shoulder and you say, come and see from my point of view so you can see everything that happens. But the reason for that is that it wouldn't work while looking ahead because they'd see this. You secretly get into position and you want to slowly and carefully move that thumb so they don't see this big motion. And then all you're going to do with the thumb out of the way is, as you wave back and forth, is just puncture between the two strands of the band, up and down. And then, again, instead of slamming that thumb back down to make it look obvious, you use the bigger action to cover the smaller action, and as you turn this hand around, you're going to just place that thumb back on, and if you want to, you can open your fingers up. Even though it's moved fingers, people won't notice. Or if you want to just make it very easy for yourself, you turn around and grab the Q-tip with your left hand. So at speed, it looks like this. I'm going to wave back and forward, it melts up and down through that rubber band.